Matt is going to be the first one to drive out, and yeah, this is going to be exciting. We always see lots of overtaking around Bahrain with the long straights. Are you looking forward to tonight's race, Alan?
Definitely, I'm gonna love this race. I mean, this track is fantastic for racing. There's actually, we have a bunch of cars out on the circuit right now. We have a couple Toro Rossos, we have a Williams. It looks like a lot of people just going out all at once. Again, you were talking about the clouds. There's not many clouds. I mean, we are in Bahrain. Even if we do see clouds, it doesn't exactly mean rain. I mean, it could be just a nice blue sky with some white clouds, but then again, it's evening time. So most likely, just some clouds forming up. It doesn't mean much. But something I did notice, however, everybody on an outlap, literally the majority, there's only one driver on the soft tire. Now, everyone else is on the super soft tire. If I know them, what they're either going to do is do the one stop in today's race, doing either the super softs to the softs or the super softs to the medium tires. So that's what I expected from these drivers, but again, Clifford decided to go a different route in that Toro Rosso. Remember, this is his banker lap. Maybe he just wants to, get something on these tires so later on in the race, or later on in qualifying, he can change his tires to super softs. But really, nobody has set a lap so far yet. Today, a couple people have just crossed the line to start their lap, and one of them being Matt in the Force India. He'll be the first one to cross the line in the Force India. So again, I expect a lot from these drivers. Fantastic podium race. And again, we'll say it now. Check out the website. I believe it's at, I'm not sure what the website link is, but we do have new merchandise up at the website. It's f1tsub.com. New merchandise to check out. And if there's anything, you have any opinions on the race, you can either comment in the comment section on the right-hand side, or on Twitter, it is at f1tsub official. I think that's it as well. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, that's correct, Alan. The website link is in the description below, so feel free to check us out. If you fancy putting your name on the waiting list, you're more than welcome to do so. We have a tier at 7 PM and 9 PM. The Pinnacle tier at 9 PM is the one we are watching now, and we're riding on board with Matt in the Force India. Under 9 minutes to go now. He's in max fuel. He's got the DRS open on the back straight, and it's been a pretty clean lap from what I can see so far. Oh, and as I say that, he has a bit of a half spin on the exit of turn 10, so a bit of commentator's curse there just to ruin his lap. But yeah, as you mentioned, Alan, Clifford's Red is the only driver on the soft tire, so he's looking to do something a little bit different today.
Again, I was definitely looking at that. I'm sort of surprised because, I mean, these are banker laps. I would just go out on tires. You're probably not going to use in the Grand Prix. That's why a lot of people are on the super softs, but for him, he doesn't plan on using those tires. He's crossing the line. Matt gets the fastest time first, and now it's Clifford, a 1:29. Now it's T.S. Odoms, a 1:28.7, crosses the line on the super softs. A couple other drivers coming in like Jordan, Matt, and Clifford, and Go Tony. They cross the line. As a 1:37 for a neck job, must be some sort of problem for that lap. 1:37 flat. So we'll sort of minimize the damage there. But Sam is in second now, passing Clifford. I think Clifford has a good lap set, considering that he's on the soft tires compared to everyone else on the super soft tires. But as we go through the grid, T.S. Odoms hangs on to the top spot so far, got a 1:28.7. There's James and Connor, and looks like Hammer Time getting around 1:29 to slot themselves inside the top 5. So with 7.5 minutes remaining, we have 11 drivers putting their laps down. Never mind, there's MLA making it number 12 to get the pole position. So far, a 1:28.4. That is 3/10 against T.S. Odoms.
Yeah, just quickly, the Ferrari of Chris came into the pits there at the end of that lap, so he didn't complete it. Bisas and Dan also did the same thing. Sean is yet to leave the pits, so he's going to do the same as he's done the last 2 races in Australia and China, which is just come out for one flying lap at the end of the session. As you mentioned, Alan, I always like to get a banker lap in when I was racing. I didn't feel comfortable putting it all into one lap, but Sean obviously feels that's the best way to get the best lap time out of him and from his car. But yeah, there's some competitive times from those guys. Craig in the McLaren, he is just completed his middle sector. Welcome, Craig. We'll be keeping a close eye on him as he backs off, heading down the back straight. Yeah, it's been a pretty competitive first runs from these guys. So as they all bail into the pits, Odoms is on a quick lap, so perhaps he's gonna decide by the time the pit entrant arrives whether he wants to complete it or whether he wants to abandon it.
Yes, we were mentioning, the banker laps. Again, I don't really, probably not a league racer anymore. I'm a retired league racer, now commentator again for the past year. But something that I remember is that I don't remember much people doing banker laps. And once I really got into commentating, the top guys always did banker laps. I don't know, I just never saw myself doing that. I just saw myself go out for one lap, set a lap, then come and then watch everyone else set laps. But as we're speaking, Clifford will be fitting the super soft tires, so now it looks like every single driver's on the red wall tires. So with 5 minutes remaining, looks to be Clifford changes his mind on the tire he has in MLA. Still has a 1/10 gap to TS Odom's back in second. I will point out the top 10 are within 1.7 seconds of each other. That's pretty close for pole position. But then again, like we said, banker laps. Hence why NX is down in 13, 8.5 seconds off the pace. Most likely he'll come back out on the track and set a better lap. But for the time being, MLA is your pole sitter with less than 5 minutes remaining. We will go over the stats of the track a couple minutes after qualifying is over, but I'm really looking forward to this race. I mean, just a show, even if we banker laps when they're not even trying. You need drivers are within tenths of each other, just like MLA and Odoms, or you see Connor Contact with Hammer Time, they're within a couple hundredths of each other. Again, it shows how competitive and how close these drivers are on pace.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a competitive first run for these guys. Odoms is going to have to get as quickly back to the pits as he can. He completed that second flying lap. Of course, he'll have to start on those tires if he doesn't improve. And that's going to be a slight disadvantage if he was hoping to one-stop. But he's going to get back to the pits as quick as he can, and I'm sure he'll try and get out when the track's at its quickest. Bisas, who abandoned his out lap or first run, whichever, he's now out on a flying lap. And it's been a pretty smooth lap so far. Still sporting a pink helmet. Obviously, last week we asked all our drivers to change their helmet to pink. It's cancer awareness. So congratulations and thank you to all the drivers that helped with that. We managed to raise £20 for breast cancer awareness. And yeah, it was hugely successful and went to a great cause. So yeah, it was a really proud moment for the league. And just like to thank all the drivers once again.
It's a fantastic cause, and it shows how a lot of the drivers just came out to support one cause, and again, something that you can't disagree with. Again, a fantastic cause. Still seeing some of these pink helmets, which is fantastic, as the month isn't over, so love seeing the support. Yes, I'm looking for several drivers. I know Clifford and Odoms have it. A couple other drivers like Matt, as B says, the fastest time of 1:27.8. As he is going for another pole position this season. And remember, never mind, Beast feels like his lap is good enough to tame them all, as he is another driver with a pink helmet today. But like we were mentioning, he has won the last 2 races, and he's pulled away in the championship, and he definitely is putting a stance on this mark so far this season, in Season 10. He's really helping out Williams, as Flair has not attended this Grand Prix and the last Grand Prix back in Shanghai. As now we're in Sakhir, he's not here as well. So he's really carrying the team, but his teammate did have the pole the first round, so it looks like maybe Williams could go 3 for 3 on pole positions, because I believe Beast has got the pole last week, and he was able to pull away with the win in Shanghai. That's a little recap on what happened with F1 TSM within the last couple of weeks. Looks like Beast has been putting on a masterclass performance, and again, nothing surprising. We all know Beast he's a fantastic driver, and it looks like he is not done yet. Do you think that he could get a podium today? Because, I mean, he's already gotten a fantastic lap time.
Yeah, definitely. I think Bisas is the man in form. He's on fire at the moment. He's the man to beat. As we see a lot of drivers either starting their first lap or getting ready to start their first lap. It's as you mentioned, Alan, it's pretty close. The field, Bisas has a half a second gap. So will MLA or maybe the other Mercedes of Sean be able to do anything about that? We will find out very shortly. A minute and a half left of this session, and we are riding on board with Dynity, who's just about to start his flying lap.
Still not really good. I'm trying to find D90. Yep. Comes into turn number 1. Remember, he's 2.5 seconds, around that, 2.5 seconds off the pace, so he really needs to really wants to put a time inside the top 10. Remember, his teammate, where is he running? I think he's running all the way back in. He hasn't even set a lap time yet, so really he's the one carrying the team. So as he's in the first sector now, going to the S's, D90, again, 2.3 seconds off the pace. Like we said, it's a painful up, so he's going to improve. But again, we have less than a minute remaining, and a lot of drivers going up for one final run, trying to knock Beast down off the top as he approaches his second sector already, hitting the apex. Sean moves up to second, puts himself with a little less than half a second with the near Beast as now Clifford has retired. He set a time to be in 5th place, 7/10 off the fastest time, which is Beast has. But as we approach for 20 seconds left, it'll be a question if D90 can make it back in time. I don't think he can. If he wants to go for another run, there is an opportunity and a chance for him to do so. I don't think it's there. As we approach the final 10 seconds, he goes to the final corner, hits the apex, runs it not even wide, but he's going to cross the line. Will he have enough time? And across the line is D90. I think he gets another lap out of that.
Does.
But he does not. He did improve, but he's still back in 13th. He went from 2.3 to 1.9 seconds. So D90 is going to have another opportunity to redeem himself.
Yeah, there's yellow flags in Sector 2. We saw Chris has finished the session, but he hasn't actually set a time. So only him and Dan are yet to do so. I saw Dan going off track a second ago, and he's retired from the session, so those two won't even set a time. So, wow, they're going to be starting from the last couple of rows. Go Tony, another new driver to the Pinnacle tier this week in the Toro Rosso. He has run almost out of fuel. He's in lean. And D90, as we mentioned, he's on a slowdown lap. Craig is coming into the pits. Jorah's also slowing down. It's struggling to find a driver on a fast lap here. So James Slater looks like he's on a quick one. We'll check his Sector 2 time in a second. Sorry, no, he is not on a quick one. Is his teammate? No, his teammate isn't either. I think we could be pretty much done here, Alan. Yeah, I think that's all the drivers want to give us tonight.
Waiting for a couple to finish. Again, like you said, Tony, it is his debut. He's not doing the best of what we imagined out of him. I mean, originally his time was off the pace, and now it's just, 15th place. It's still pretty good. I mean, it is 3 seconds off the pace from round 3 zip. You look at the next fastest time, it's in neck to 2.7. But again, Tony has a lot to learn from fantastic drivers. So as we wait for qualifying to be over with a minute remaining, Beastaz will be the man on pole position. Second should be MLA. Third should be Sean. Fourth should be Odoms. Fifth should be Clifford. Sixth, Sam. Seventh, Matt. Eighth, Compact. Ninth, Hammer Time. Rounding up the top 10, it's going to be James back. And 11th is Jor. 12th is going to be Craig. 13th, D90. 14th, Enact. 15th, Tony. 16th, Chris. And rounding out the top 17 is Dan. And neither did 16th and 17th set of time, so it's going to be a real challenge to get by many drivers today for Chris and Dan as they start back in the last row in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, all drivers qualified on the super soft tyre. Obviously the top 10 will have to start on the tyre that they set their quickest time on for the race. From 11th onwards, you will get to choose what tyre you'd like to start on. Odem's in 4th position, so that's a good result for him. And interestingly, MLA jumped ahead of his teammate to join Beasthouse on the front row for the 2nd consecutive week. So the Mercedes of MLA getting the better of his teammate for the 2nd week or 3rd week in a row, I believe. It'll be interesting to see whether MLA can bring a bit of a fight to Beasthouse this week, or whether Beasthouse is going to walk away again.
There's a chance that could happen, but as we end out qualifying, it looks to be, as we go to the top of the board, let's see how close the gap is. Again, we already stated every single driver. Beasthouse will get his 2nd consecutive pole, and what could be his 3rd victory yet this season. And again, I'm not going to clinch it or jinx it. I mean, yes, it is, well, 3 out of 3 rounds. We haven't even started the race. We could do that, but we go down through the grid. Something I like to point out, top 10, 1.3 seconds. Really impressive from the top 10. They're all within a full second of each other, and the top 13 is 1.9. So again, it's going to be really close today. Who is going to be the man who is going to win today's Bahrain Grand Prix in Sakhir? Post your thoughts down below in the comments or on Twitter at F1TSL, or go to the website f1tsl.com. And we are moments away from the start of the 3rd round here in the Bahrain Grand Prix. Last minute thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, it was a good qualifying session. As you said, 1.3 covered the top 10. Craig, 12th position on his debut. He was only 2 tenths away from making the top 10. But as we've seen in previous races, 11th and 12th isn't the worst place to start on the grid. So it'll be interesting to see whether those drivers in those positions can keep their nose clean and just see where they can end up. 1 and 2 stop, obviously, as we mentioned prior to qualifying, this race is going to most likely be. And drivers are currently picking their strategies and picking their fuel before we get the formation lap underway. And I'm really excited to see this run down to the first corner. We didn't have any incidents or any spins in the podium tier, so hopefully we can have the same in the Pinnacle tier tonight.
Yes, very exciting as time counts down for the formation lap. Luckily, I remembered that one, like you mentioned. So, again, the 5 green lights will fill on our screens for the formation lap. So we'll go down very, very quickly. Let's try and get a rundown or a grid walk of every single driver. Here we go. Beast has on pole. He is on there for the 2nd time yet this season, and he's going for his 3rd victory today. 2nd is going to be MLA, not getting what he expected through the beginning of the season. He starts 2nd alongside Beast has. In that 2nd row, it'll be Sean and T.S. Odoms side by side, as a bunch of people getting disqualified already. Sean and T.S. Odoms, looks like if I go through the grid, Sean and MLA, again, they could really challenge Williams for the Constructors' Championship this year as they start 2nd and 3rd. Again, a good really motivation to have in the 3rd race of the season. Back is 4th of T.S. Odoms, as looks like Sean was disqualified as well. Go back with 5th. 5th is Clifford. 6th is going to be Sam. They start in the 3rd row. Down to the 4th row is going to be Matt and Compact. They start in, what's my math quickly? The 4th, is it the 4th row? Yes, it is, the 4th row. Down to the 5th row, it is going to be Hammer Time and James, the Sauber, and the Renault. Again, both Renaults inside the top 10, so it's going to be a good day for them. Hopefully they can get a double points finish. Down in the 11th for the 6th row is going to be Jor and Craig, the Red Bull and the McLaren Honda. Here in Bahrain, they hope to do well today. Back down in the 7th row, it's going to be D90 and a Necht. Again, another Red Bull, but this time a Ferrari alongside him. That is D90. Like we said, his teammate is back in the pack. And then we go down to the 8th row, making his debut in the Toro Rosso. It is Go Tony 14, the American, for today's Bahrain Grand Prix. And we go back with Chris, who did not set a lap time, and rounding up the final row, he's going to be alone, and that's Sauber. And the final row is going to be Dan. He is going to be starting in 17th or dead last position at today's Bahrain Grand Prix. So that is going to be it for all the drivers, as most of them have been disqualified, or most of them are trying to go back to where the disqualified drivers are. Again, if you have any race picks, or again, if you have any picks, put them on Twitter, on the website, or comment down below. And any last-minute thoughts can be said right now. But it is going to be a fantastic and exciting Grand Prix. I am looking forward to it, and I hope you are as well, Nick.
Yeah, I definitely am, as these drivers warm up their tyres. Obviously, the DSQ is only from the formation lap. They will still get to start the race. Quick shout-out to Cobblers, who is driving the Haas this season alongside Odoms. I know he isn't feeling very well, so my thoughts with yourself, Cobblers, and hope you feel better for Russia next week. And here we go, Alan. Lights are about to come on, and I'll let you take it away.
Okay, the 5 red lights for the 3rd round of the season, the Bahrain Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. And it looks like B-Sass doesn't get off to the best of start, as actually he's pulling away. Has a bad camera angle, but it looks like 3 wide in the background. T.S. Odoms may try and dive it down to the inside, getting ever so close as they make contact. Odoms runs wide with Beast has. MLA takes the lead as he's going to have to cut the corner. Odoms, what were you thinking? Now the Force Indies going to have to let by a couple cars as he gained an unfair advantage. Maybe he just lost the back end, but MLA pulls away with the race lead. And through the first corner, Beast has lost it due to dive bombing Odoms. I'm not sure if we missed a lot already, but that was just, I'm surprised that actually happened. Odoms fell all the way back down to 7th place, going through the rest of the grid. A couple cars running wide in the first sector, but other than that, they keep it clean. It looks like down the position for 10th place, and I see a front wing broken off the circuit behind. I think that is Tony, who actually has gained a couple of positions. He's up to 13th. He's wheel-to-wheel with a Ferrari, trying to go around the outside, maybe 3 wide back in the background. Not sure how they made that able to work. Craig was the loser out of that when he fell multiple positions. It's like a pack back here, and now he's falling back to dead last. There may be a problem with either D90 or Craig. They're wheel-to-wheel for the final position. There's a lot of stuff happening with this pack. Again, wish we see this, some sort of racing like this, but around the outside, the Sauber runs it very wide. Dan, there must have been some sort of problem. He just got ran off the circuit, and around the outside he goes as a Toro Rosso lost the back end. Tony falling all the way back to dead last in the very beginning. And not the best start he had in plan for today's Bahrain Grand Prix as MLA crosses the lap.
Yeah, Bisas is just behind him, Alan. He's going down the outside. MLA benefited from Odem's dive bomb down the inside as MLA runs him quite wide. They're going to touch wheels again. MLA gets a good exit though. This is going to be interesting. How long is he going to be able to keep Bisas behind him? Because he looks pretty racy. Perhaps his sister Mercedes is going to come into his aid here and put some pressure on. Obviously no DRS for the first 2 laps whilst these drivers test the limits of the circuits with heavy fuel. The biggest losers from that start are obviously TS Odems went down a few positions after that crazy late move down the inside. I'm not really sure how late he thought he could brake, but it was definitely too late. Compact has lost 7 positions, and so has Dynamite. He's lost 4. So the biggest up into 12th position, and we've got Sam has moved up a couple of positions, and so is the Red Bull of Enakit. So it'll be interesting to see whether some of these drivers are able to stay with each other and provide some great racing. Tyres, should we just check what tyres everyone started on, Alan? Yeah.
The top 11 are on the super soft tires, whereas everyone else below that are really just mixed between medium softs and super softs. Again, the drivers outside of the top 10 are able to choose what tire they have, so that's the reason why. But everyone else is at the fastest time. Actually, hold on a second. Battle for the race lead. It looks like Beast has wheel-to-wheel with MLA, trying to go around the outside this time, and he's going to do it and runs them wide just enough for a room for MLA to hang on to the lead as they're wheel-to-wheel again, headed up the hill. Going through turns 1, 2, and 3, going defensive, and here comes Sean out of nowhere. He is going to make, now it looks like the Beast has to the inside. He hops over the curb. He hits one of the Mercedes, and now they're trying to go 3 wide. Can he hold on to it? I'm not sure, but it looks like Sean backs out. Not the best scenario. I would have just waited behind as Beastaz runs wide. Now he's going to be under attack, but now he's going to try and dive it down to the inside of Sean, who's going to go around the outside of Beastaz. If he hangs it, but no, and like I said, if he was going to hang it, he would have had the inside for this next 2 corners. But Beastaz had to hang on for hang on to the ride. That was something I did not expect out of Beastaz. I mean, around the outside and then just dove it to the inside. If I were him, I would have been patient. Now he's going to try and go to the outside again. This time, it looks like he actually has a challenge for the race win today, headed up the hill. But yes, like we were mentioning, looks like the top drivers in the top 11 really are going on the super soft tires. Those are the tires that they qualified on and took the best time on. So that is the reason why there's a yellow in sector 1 and 2. That is going to be Tony, or D90, off the circuit in the Ferrari. And a left front tire is gone. So that is not how he wanted his day to end after just 3 laps in today's Grand Prix. But as down the straight, DRS is finally open. Could this be the chance for Beastaz to attack? Around the outside again he goes, and this time he'll easily pass him down the straight and blocks the inside. So Beastaz finally gets back the race lead he deserved from pole position. So right now Beastaz is going to try and pull away, as it looks like the MLA ran very wide or just lost the back end. Now he's going to be under attack from his teammate Sean. It looks like he may try and go down to the inside for second place. He's going to put up a challenge as both of them hop over the curb. Runs very wide. It could be a silver arrow battle, but knowing that, but they're just have to keep a single file. They want any chance of catching Beastaz. So 4 laps in, Beastaz is going to be the one to pull away.
Yeah, that was some great racing, I have to say. They were wheel to wheel, wheel banging all the way through. It was turn 5 and 6 on the previous lap, as we see Sam gain a position up into 4th place. Yeah, that MLA looked like he got a bad exit, otherwise he might have been able to challenge. Still within DRS range though. He needs to keep that DRS detection under a second for the final home straight, so hopefully he'll be able to do that. But his teammate definitely looks a little bit quicker at this stage. I don't know if they're running different fuels or planning to go for different stops being in the same team, but I wonder if team orders will come into play to try and help them bring them this race win. As we see Bisas on the inside of the track there, just breaking the slipstream. Will MLA be able to get DRS? It's just under a second now, so possibly we'll wait to see if that flat opens. and then we'll run down the field and we'll see if and it is open in, well, he's got DRS, but according to my graphics he's not opening it, which is a little bit strange.
I mean, when he was in the activation zone, it was more than a second. However, his teammate had DRS, and looks like they're pulling each other towards Beastaz. And something I was looking at is I looked back and I saw a lot of battles. Actually, speaking of battle, there's for 13th, 14th around that. It looks like Craig ran wide in the first corner, back in 14th place in the McLaren. Go back further in the grid, so Beastaz is already pulling away. I noticed once he took the lead, he did not look back, because he's really putting on a threat towards the rest of these drivers, which is really interesting. I mean, I thought Beastaz was around a 10th off these drivers in qualifying comparison, and now he's, I think that's just his qualifying mode, not as fast as his race mode is now in the race. Looks like he's really putting on a good gap already, and you know, if something doesn't happen sooner or later, you're just going to let him pull away and win this race unless something happens to him. So again, I really feel like these drivers should just team up and have the second best driver just team up against Beastaz and see who can win that battle, because at this rate, if you just keep battling amongst yourselves, Beastaz is just gonna go on to win every single race. I mean, already blown a proportion where he's won the last two, and people acting like he just won this championship. I mean, we're just 2 races in, and Beastaz putting on a fantastic performance, and it looks like he's doing the same today. If we look back at second and third, looks like DRS could be enabled again, and I'm on board with Sean. I either think it is or it's not. The view doesn't show me, but down into turn number 1, it looks like he'll stay behind his teammate most likely due to the fact that they really need to catch Beastaz, and if they battle, that'll diminish any chances they have of gaining on that Williams driver. So I don't think they'll be able to gain on Beastaz unless if he has a bad pit stop. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I think it could be an interesting one. Obviously, they can't pit the same lap, the Mercedes, like they did in China, otherwise they're just going to have to stack. So maybe one of them should go for the undercut, and then possibly hold Beastaz up while the other one tries the overcut. Obviously, it's early in the season, so neither driver probably wants to do that for the other just yet. But as you said, Alan, how many races are they going to let him win before they start tactically doing this? Just to mention, Chris is on the medium tyres just behind Dan, and he's going well. Craig on his debut is up into 13th. I just saw him pass the Red Bull of Eniket, so on the super soft tyre, so perhaps he's got damage. Go Tony and Compact are the only 2 drivers to make a stop, both now on the soft tyre. So we've got a lot of close battles. Hammer Time is just behind James Slater in 8th and 9th, so I'm expecting some DRS slipstream down these 2 long straights before the first corner. You've got the 2 Force Indias in 6th and 7th. They're holding on to Clifford's red, and Odems is up to 4th position, as we see the Red Bull of, that was Jaw. He goes down the inside and spins, so he made a late lunge on Hammer Time into the last corner, and that's cost him a couple of positions. Chris and Dan both move up, as Matt and Clifford's red both come into the pit lane, so they're coming in for an early stop. You presume if they stop now there'll be 2 stopping, Alan. I don't think they could make it to the end on medium tyres, but we're keen to see when these 3 front runners pit. And surprisingly enough, Odems is only 3 seconds behind after dropping to what I believe was 7th or 8th place, so perhaps he's got some pace today that he wants to unleash. But yeah, pretty clean racing from everyone so far, and the closest battle is the 2 that started right at the back, Chris and Dan.
Yes, I mean, they're kind of a fantastic battle already. Something that I noticed, hold on a second, battle for second between Sean and MLA. It looks like the positions have shifted. Not sure if there's a mistake or not, but now Sean is in a second place. Maybe little team orders, because I'm not sure neither of us got footage of that. All I saw was a position shift for second place, so now they've given the right to Sean to try and catch Beastaz. The gap is now around 2 seconds. There's a yellow in sector, hold on, that is Sam. And of course, he's 7th. Must have been some sort of issue. He's up to speed again, but the Sauber behind him is trying to pass him.
It's got wing damage.
Yeah, wing damage. He ran very wide and he's letting cars go by. He has to pit this lap, unless if he wants to stay out there for another lap. But again, I'm not sure what happened. He was very slow as well, so he must have spun, either hit the wall or hit a car and slowed down on the corner. But not good for Sam, as he's going to have to pit this lap, as he's going to come in with maybe the Red Bull behind him. Nope, he's going to stay out. That is Jor, who spun 2 laps ago. So look up to the rest of the grid. It looks like Sean maintaining the gap. He's not either gaining or losing time, but if the gap is 2 seconds, he may try the undercut. Maybe try and gain a second, and let's see if maybe if Beastaz gets held up in the pits. There is still a chance for Sean to win this race. I mean, the gap is already diminished by 3/10 within the last sector. The sector alone sort of shows something. Maybe a mistake by Beastaz, but other than that, I mean, looks like they're reeling each other in, and things could get a little interesting.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we want. I'm sure everybody watching wants to see someone take the fight to Beastaz. Interestingly enough, Chris and Dan are now up to 7th and 8th. Sorry, Chris is obviously on the medium tyre and Dan's on the supers. So perhaps those supers for everyone starting to go off a little bit in these latter laps before their pit stops. So that'll be interesting to see, as we see Craig on his debut is up to 10th position and closing in on Jaw. So he's doing well as well. James Slater is now up to 5th position, and Odems has closed in on MLA under 3 seconds. I'm riding on board with Chris and Dan. I think Chris might be thinking about going for a move as Dan runs a little bit wide. Just to remind everyone, we have regular corner cutting for this track of this Grand Prix. As Chris goes down the inside, thinks better of it. He wants that DRS and he wants a nice easy pass. That's pretty good thinking of Chris. We saw in the last couple of races that he's got himself involved in some incidents that perhaps he didn't need to do. So he's got DRS open. Dan goes defensive and Chris goes to the outside. Is Chris going to try get a nice good exit on traction, try the cut back, and perhaps go down either the inside or the outside to turn 3? Because Alan, I think in turn 4, this heavy braking zone, you can either pass on the inside or the outside.
Yeah, it would definitely work, but as you were talking, both of the Red Bulls have pitted. That is Inek and Jor. Luckily, they barely avoided a double stack, as one exited their pit lane, the other hopped right on the stall. Obviously, the second was around, or the pit stop was a second longer. But I mean, it worked out in the benefit of these drivers. They barely missed that. So they both pitted on lap 9. So now within the next 3 laps should be the switchover point for their one and only stop today. So again, today should be, or next couple of laps should really be the point of when they should be switching over. So right now, Beastaz has a gap of 1.2 seconds. Looks like Sean is reeling him in. I think the two Mercedes realized who was faster out of them. That was Sean, so they promoted him to second. They're going to have him chase down Beastaz, as now Sean stays out and Beastaz pits. So that ruins leading every single lap that Beastaz had in mind, but you know that wouldn't have worked anyway from the first 3 laps. So now Sean takes the lead in his Mercedes. For the first time today, his teammate also led a couple of the beginning stages of this race, so Beastaz is in the pits. Looks like Beastaz will put on the medium tires to finish this Grand Prix out. Look at a couple other drivers. Looks like Chris did that as well. Not sure Chris, I don't think Chris pitted. Let me go to, no he did not. But Beastaz pitted, so did Clifford, so did Matt. And the tires they have on are all soft tires. A little interesting because I thought they all would have put on the soft tires. Then again, those are the drivers who are doing 2 stops as Sam goes for the fastest lap. Who do you think should be going for a 2-stop? Because most likely, the drivers, all in the super softs, would be going for the 1-stop today because they should either be pitting for the soft tires later on in the race or the medium tires. Again, it's up to them on their tire strategy, but a lot of it changes midway through the race.
I think anyone who's on the soft tire now is either going to go for the 2-stop or is just minimizing the amount of time they have to run the medium tires. I think what's going to be key for Beastaz here is, and then I don't know if the Mercedes have planned this, but obviously there's traffic that Beastaz needs to get through. He's got Craig, Chris within a few seconds of him, and obviously on the medium tire he's going to perhaps not have the same amount of grip as he would on a quicker one. But as you said, Alan, 1 stop is the way forward. Odems admitted earlier that he was only thinking about the 1 stop, and that's what he was planning to do as MLA comes into the pits. So he is planning, and so does Odems. So they both come into the pits. Be interesting to see where they come out relative to Beastaz. I'll ride on board with him, and perhaps we can see where they exit the pits and how much of an undercut Beastaz has got on these guys. Craig, meanwhile, 3rd position in his debut race. Chris, from the back of the grid, is in 2nd position. So this is great stuff.
Yeah, again, gap between Beastaz and MLA. humongous. There must have been some sort of held up in the pits by cars entering the pits, and I mean, yeah, already that gap was humongous, but I mean, it exceeded the limits that I thought it would be. Beastaz is in 4th, and MLA is down in 7th. And it looks like Matt and Clifford both got ahead of him. I mean, Clifford hasn't pit yet, but Matt has. I think he has. Again, we'll go through that detail, and all of them have pitted. So it really just shows that there must have been some sort of problem for MLA in the pit lane. However, hopefully it doesn't happen to Sean, because he is the one leading in the Mercedes, and he's going to have to pit within the next 2 laps, because he is the only one left on the track on those super soft tires. They're not going to last that much longer. 11 laps through is really what you're going to get out of them. So he has to be really careful on those tires to make sure he doesn't get a puncture. So it is a 15-second gap between him and Chris. And Chris hasn't pitted yet, so he has that in mind. So maybe this lap will be pitting. It looks like Clifford's red is out of this session. And taken on board. Again, the left front is gone, as Sean is pitting as well. So everything happening at once. We are at the halfway stage for today's race, by the way. He'll put on the medium tires. Or actually, not the medium. We're not midway through. A couple laps we will be. But let's take an onboard view with Chris. Chris will get by. What about Beastaz? I think Beastaz has them as well, and he does. The Mercedes, I mean, something happened with Beastaz. I think he's been flying on those medium tires, whereas Sean just gets going now. And as you can see, the gap is pretty much the same between him and MLA. So it looks like the same problem happened to the 2 Mercedes. Do you have any reason why that could be, Nick?
I'm not too sure. I don't know if just Beastaz just undercut them majorly, or whether they had a bit of a problem. Obviously, they were going to be slower, having completed 10 and 11 laps on those super softs. I'm not quite sure why one of the Mercedes didn't split the strategy and possibly go for a 2-stop. You know, they're going to have to. They can't let Beastaz undercut them and be quicker, because it's just a no-win situation. I'm actually riding on board with Matt, and on my screen, I'm sure you can all see on the broadcast, his front 2 tires are showing medium, but his rear 2 are the yellow soft compound.
Whoa, spin. The race leader spins. That was Chris.
Wing damage.
The back end, and now Beastaz takes it. Yup, he lost the back in that corner. Oh, he spins again, and he's lost the tire. What was that?
That was Sean going past. When Sean went past, he touched Chris's front left tire, and it just came straight off. So I'm not sure who was to blame there, but obviously Chris was recovering. He perhaps should have been off the racing line with no front wing, but he's out of this race, and he'll be bitterly disappointed with that. As you said, Alan, he was leading this race. So now Beastaz retakes the lead, and it is 5.3 seconds the gap. Matt currently in 3rd position, having made an early stop and got a good undercut. Odems just overtakes MLA for 4th position, so these 2 are having a bit of a ding-dong, and Odems has actually gone on to the soft tire. So he lied to me in the podium tier and told me he was going to 1-stop this and that he'd be leading the race at one point. So there you have it, guys. He definitely didn't tell the truth. MLA is half a second behind him. Compact is up to 9th, just behind Hammer Time. The 2 Saubers in 7th and 8th respectively. Samster is just on the back of Jaw, 0.3 of a second, with Craig another 0.3 back. Craig switched to the super softs, so you'd have to say he's going for a 2-stop tonight. Some real interesting strategies of 1 and 2 stop as the Red Bull goes wide, and Sam, he's going to try and go around the outside of 9. Can Craig benefit here? They go off the track. They both go off the track. The Red Bull's in the barrier, and the McLaren of Craig just sails straight through. Too aggressive there, Alan? What do you think?
Too aggressive there. I mean, we're not even midway through the race, and it's not the last lap or anything, but I mean, they are fighting for Craig got a single point position, but they're not fighting for a plural points position. So I wouldn't say it's that important. Plus, like we said, not even halfway through the race, so I would have just waited later on, be patient. Again, that's what racing is. You have to be patient. You don't just act on a move. You have to wait till the time is right, and then you can make a move and solidify that position easily. But again, just forcing your way through or anything like that, again, not recommended. But again, if it works, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But in that case, it worked in other people's favors, as it looks like Compact is in the pits, and it looks like Jor is in the pits yet again. So another Red Bull in the pits, and looks to be he'll be putting on the medium tires, and looks like Compact will be putting on the same exact tire as well.
Interestingly, Alan, we haven't had a safety car since the first race in the podium tier. So I know when Chris and possibly Dynasty retired, both Ferraris, interestingly enough, they were on the middle of the track, or was it the Toro Rosso? But definitely out of the 3 that have retired, 2 of them were right on the racing line, and I feel there definitely should have been a safety car situation there, whether it be virtual or normal. But yeah, it's yet to be seen in this tier, as we're seeing Odems just get ahead of Sam, and he's now up into 3rd position. MLA is now on the back of Sam, and he's going to be trying to move ahead of the Force India, which is 2 stopping. The gap's up to 6.3. I really don't think they're going to be able to catch Bisas here, Alan, and I'm a little bit disappointed that one of them didn't try and do something different. I don't know on your screen if the Force India of Matt is on 2 different compounds, but it definitely is on mine. That's a little bit of a glitch, as MLA comes up to the back of him. Both have DRS open.
Neither, I mean, he has the soft tires on all the way around. Probably just a glitch on your end. But as we ride on board, lap 15 out of 29, looks to be Beast has increasing that gap. And, well, he's done a phenomenal job. I mean, they came out of the pit, so it was around 5 seconds. Now it is 6.5 seconds. So he has increased that by half a second. And he's put on a good show today. I mean, on pace-wise, not racing, but, I mean, he's put on a good gap against everyone else. And he's going to really stabilize his name in this championship this year. He may try to go for 3-3. Today, as he's going for his 3rd win in the 3rd race of the season. And again, that'd be huge for not only Williams but for Beast has in this championship. Again, I'm not going to clinch it, or I wouldn't jinx it or anything. But I mean, when you have this much momentum built up over the last 3 races, winning all of them, what do you think Beast has going for him? Like, what do you think he uses as motivation? Because I mean, it's crazy what he's done so far this season.
You're right, Alan. This game really suits him, and he's obviously his teammate got pole position in the first round, but since he took the lead there, he hasn't really looked back, as we see the Force India get a little tank slapper on the exit of the penultimate corner. But you're right, it's going to be hard to stop him. Someone's going to have to, as we saw at the start, Odems dove down the inside, and perhaps the Mercedes, it gave him a chance, but they really haven't taken that, as the Force India of Matt comes into the pits for what you presume would be his medium stop. We don't have any DRS battles other than Odems on Sean, so this Haas driver is absolutely flying. He's on the softer tyre, so he's going to be making another stop. It'll be interesting to see if he can do anything about this. I know I'd like to see a safety car myself to try and bring this into play, but you can't take it away from Beast Haas. He's absolutely doing everything he needs to do to win this race.
Again, he's done a phenomenal job. Now the gap between them is 7 seconds. And really good pace by everyone. I don't want to say everyone, but I mean, a couple drivers DNFing, like you mentioned, Chris, Clifford, and D90. We're down to 14 runners, actually. I thought it was 15, but down to 14 runners, and we're halfway through this thing. It felt like just a couple minutes ago we were only 4 laps in. So again, now a lot of these drivers on the medium tires. So again, if anyone has a league race in Bahrain, just a suggestion, the one stop will always work for no matter how good or bad you are with tires, either super softs and softs or super softs and mediums. I mean, you've seen it here. A lot of drivers are able to do the one stop if you don't get caught up in an early race incident. But for the meantime, leading is Beast has with 7 seconds. Back in second is Sean. Third is CS Odems. Fourth is MLA. Fifth is James. Sixth is Dan. Seventh is Hammerton. Eighth is Craig. Ninth is Sam. 10th is Matt. 11th is Anek. 12th is Compact. 13th Jordan. 14th is Tony. Again, not the best race for Tony. He is 45 seconds off. I mean, not what he, and that, remember, that's off of just of the car ahead of him. Imagine overall, I think he's a lap down if I'm correct. Yeah, he's a lap down, so not the best debut race for him, but again, you can only go up from here. You can only go up from being the lowest. So really for Tony, it's really just a learning curve or a learning experience for him. So just trying to get as much information as possible about the top league, and a lot of these drivers can really give him some advice.
Yeah, interestingly, Dynasty was saying that Go Tony and himself were both involved in that terminal damage for the Ferrari driver. So I don't know if Go Tony got himself the American got his damage on his car or what happened. We'll have to wait until drivers complete their race reports on the website after the race, and if there's any video evidence. Odems is all over the back of Sean now, as I see a little bit of lag. Beast-Hass has turned the engine down maybe. It's just gone under 7 seconds now whilst these two are battling, but he doesn't need to worry. I'm sure he knows exactly what he's doing. And yeah, Dan is the biggest gainer from the start. He's got to stop again, I believe, but he's currently in 6th position from starting dead last in 17th. So well done to him. What can Odems do as well after that first lap dive bomb? Just to recap, if anyone is just joining us, he went down the inside of the first corner. We thought it was going to be MLA, then we thought it was going to be Sean to challenge Beast-Hass, and no, Odems slung it down the inside of all three of them. Perhaps he just couldn't help himself. But the Haas driver on the quicker tyre, different strategy, is struggling to get past Sean, currently in 2nd place, as Beast-Hass extends his lead over 7 seconds. And I'm going to go down to Craig, because again, as we mentioned, his debut race, and he's closing in on hammer time in the Sauber. So this is a really strong race so far. He's kept his nose clean, which sometimes, Alan, in itself can just bring you into play and into the higher point scoring positions.
Yes, I mean, like we were just talking about the scoring positions again, it's going to really affect these drivers in the championship in the long run, definitely. But something else I looked at today, I mean, look at Odems. I mean, like you said, that lap 1 incident, and now he's just blistering fast. He's going through the field like there's no day tomorrow. Now he's about to pass Sean. He diminished the gap down at less than a second. And, I mean, the gap between him and Beast-Hass is actually diminishing as well. I mean, it's sticking around the 7-second mark. It's not increasing anymore, so I think either Beast-Hass is saving, or really Sean has just picked up the pace because he sees in his mirrors, looks to be a frightening Haas driver who's really ready to pass him. But we cross the line with 8 laps to go, my bad. 8 laps to go in today's Bahrain Grand Prix. Again, if you have any thoughts, put them on Twitter at F1TSHub, or you can go to the website, or you can comment down below. Again, a fantastic race so far. Beast-Hass leading the most laps today, and he's clinched that record for today. So it looks like it's starting to get darker and darker, and really he's going to be a threat in this championship for sure. But 7-second gap remains, as it looks like Sam is in the pits. What tire will he put on? It looks to be the soft tires. Yes, the soft tires, and away he is. And that'll be his final pit stop of the day. So, do you think we're done seeing the pit stops? Because really, nobody should be pitting after that, even if you're doing a 2-stop.
Possibly. Sorry, Alan. I'm just going to mention Craig, who's just got past hammer time. They went nearly side by side into turn 1, followed each other into turn 3 and 4, and Craig actually did it on the outside of turn 4, as I mentioned earlier. You can pass on either corner there. So he's on the super soft tyre now. I'm not sure if he's going to the end or if he still needs to pit stop, but if you are going to stop, you don't really want to stop much past lap 20, so you can get the full use of those super soft tyres, because they can definitely do 9 laps. So that'll be interesting to see. I believe Odems is going to stop again, and as I mentioned, possibly Craig. We've got Compact, who's all over the Red Bull driver of Pinnacle. So this will be interesting to see what DRS can do for these two. The Renault versus the Renault-powered Red Bull, of course. Jaw is down in 13th, just ahead of Tony, so he's had a bit of a disappointing race by his standard. But yeah, it's been pretty clean racing so far, and it's been exciting to commentate on. I'm really enjoying these top-tier drivers pushing things to their limit, as we are still riding on board with Compact. Tony has left the session, so I'm not exactly sure why. But what can Compact do coming onto the start-finish straight?
Yeah, so again, let's take a look back at, who is that? I forget, again, the gap is around 6-7 tenths. Again, he's remaining there because he is having a hard time passing Sean. Once you get close enough to someone, you really can't reel them in. Looks like he's finding that problem. I mean, maybe down the straight, but other than that, this track doesn't really provide much passing opportunities, and again, these drivers trying to find every inch and every part of this track to use to try and get by someone, and it hasn't been much success for Odems. I mean, yes, he did use a turn 1 dive bomb on lap 1, but now he's trying to redeem himself and try and get a second place today. I mean, if he gets by him now, there is a slight chance if Beastas makes a mistake, there's a chance he could reel him in. But I mean, so slow to the point where Sean is falling off the pace again at Beastas, and Odoms is maintaining his gap, which means he is going to be slower than Beastas, so it doesn't really matter. But down the straight, looks like DRS is available, but the gap is way too much to the point where not going to gain much from that. So looks to be Sean hanging on to second place, but for how much longer? I look further back in the pack, and I'm trying to find some other battles going through the grid.
It's compact.
Looks like back in 7th, okay, down through compact. I saw Hammer Time and Craig ran wide, but again, I think that was just me. But compact now against Inect for the final points bank position. Looks to the inside, can't get any of it. He hops over the curb, and now off the final corner. Looks to be he may open up DRS, and he will. And it's time to attack for a point position. So he's looking to the inside, outside. Which way is he going to do into turn number 1? Looks to be to the outside. Tries to do some late braking to bring it around the outside, but a lockup as they both run wide. And this time the Renault's going to get it as he spins in turn 1. Contact is made. If he just nailed his braking point correctly, if he did, he would have gotten by. But Inect very, very lucky to hang on. Do you think that was sort of intentional to keep that point paying position?
Yeah, that was, they both just were too late on the brakes. Had either of them just actually hit the correct braking point, they would have just sailed off. That's unfortunate because that battle was shaping up for a few laps. Be interesting to see whether Compact can close back up, but he's now a few seconds behind, and Sam is right on the back of him in the Force India. So what can he do from there? 7.7 the gap Beastas has over Sean now, as Odems comes into the pits. So Odems is going to come into the pits, fit the super soft tyre. He'll drop down a few places, and then expect to see some fastest laps from him. James Slater up to 5th position, by the way, so 4th position as I say that. Dan from last is up to 5th, so well done to them. Odems is going to come out in 6th position. So yeah, this will be 7th position. So everyone's moving up because that pit stop. Craig comes into the pit stop for his final stop, so he's going to be fitting the super soft, I'm guessing, and taking those right to the end of the race. And yeah, this is interesting, Alan, because these Mercedes drivers really didn't take advantage of that first lap dive bomb by Odems. Perhaps they should have strategically played things a little bit better, but they're currently in 2nd and 3rd, and we presume the top 3, possibly the top 4, are all going to the end.
Yeah, very surprising. Like we said, I don't think we'd see another pit stop today, but it looks to be that thought has changed out of the books. So we do have a couple laps left today. It looks like Odom's getting by Hammer Time. So again, like we said, a lot of things changing up with Odoms, as now he's trying to work his way back up through the group, just past Hammer Time. So up to 6th place. Back in 5th is Dan, 4th is James, 3rd is MLA, 2nd is Sean. And it looks to be that gap is now 8 seconds as Beastas again putting out a fantastic performance today. And really, he has a lot going for him. I mean, he won the first race, won the second race, won the third race, or he's about to win the third race, my mistake. And really, there's not much else you can ask for. Maybe getting the pole in the first race, but down there's Craig and Inect. Finally, Craig gets by, as now there's a problem with the Red Bull, as now he's falling back to the wrath of the Force India of the Sam behind. Looks like 2 more are pitting. That is Dan and James both into the pits for the final time today. Some more pit stops, so we were drastically wrong, and we definitely jinxed it for these drivers. So now actually a dive bomb in the final corner. Looks like Sam gets by as he punted the Red Bull off the track. Connect now is going to have to pit as well, as he may have some front wing damage. He may have to fix that first. But other than that, looks to be Odom's back into the top 4. 3rd is MLA, 2nd is Sean, and still leading is Beastas. So again, it looks to be 3-4 more people pitted. That sort of surprised me, because I thought pit stops were done by now.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've gone for these late pit stops, and so many drivers have done so. So yeah, it's the top 3 have done 1. So is Hammer Time in 5th, and the rest of the drivers have all gone for 2. So as in the podium tier, what was looked like an easy 1 stop, they've backed out of it. So we can only presume that there's been higher tyre wear than everyone expected, but Beastas doesn't care. He leads by about 8 seconds. He's got 5 laps to go in this race. Who's going to be the nearest battle? You've got Compact and Sam just over a second of each other, but it'll be interesting if Hammer Time can defend his one-stop strategy against the drivers behind him, all 5 of them currently on a 2-stop and currently chasing him down, as Odems sets the fastest lap of the race and he takes a second out of MLA. Unfortunately, that won't be enough, even on those super tyres. So, if we run down the order, Bisas is in first, Sean is in second, MLA is in third, Odems is recovered to fourth after a first lap dive bomb, Hammer Time is in fifth, also on the 1-stop, Matt is in sixth. Force India, that's a good showing from him, Alan. He had bad pace last week, and he said afterwards that he really struggled in China and wasn't happy about his pace around there. So his race pace today has been good, and he's currently in 6th position. James Slater is in 7th. Dan from the back of the grid is in 8th. Good recovery from him. Craig, as I say, he's got to be one of my nominations for Driver of the Day, because I think he's had a fantastic debut, not only hopefully to score points, but his racing has also impressed me as well, so big up to him. Sam in the other Force India, Compact's in 11th, Jaw is in 12th, Eniket is in 13th, both Red Bulls, Alan, having a bit of a troublesome race today. It'll be a non-scoring finish for that team, and then of course Go Tony's in 14th, he disconnected. The 2 Ferraris of Chris and Dynasty and the Toro Rosso of Clifford have all failed to finish the race, so not a good day for Ferrari or Toro Rosso. It looks like neither of their team will be scoring any points today.
Yeah, something definitely to look out for. I mean, we are coming to the final stages of today's race, and something again I'd like to point out, again, I go through the grid, and I'm going to turn on the stops as well for detail. Go through the grid, it looks to be everyone inside the top 4 or top 5 except for Odems has made it 1 stop. I mean, we talked about the 1 stop would be the ideal strategy, but you look at it, a lot of people have gone for the 2 stop, and that's sort of ironic because these drivers first started out thinking to go down to the 1 stop route, and now all of a sudden they had to redirect their strategy. So now, with a couple laps left to go, a lot of people have been putting on super soft tires to try and go either the fastest lap or for more points to try and charge through the field. But really, it's not worked out for them. I mean, the top 3 have done a phenomenal job staying out there on those medium tires. And again, that's a question we'll bring up. Is it that these medium tires were that they were quicker than expected to the point where people have to make it a 2-stop? Because if that is the case, we'll be keeping a big eye out on drivers such as Beastaz, Sean, MLA, and Hammer Time, who are all in the top 5. So it's going to be very interesting as we come down to the final couple stages of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, Matt's closing in on Hammer Time. He's half a second he's closed in on this lap. A premium member, of course, at F1 TS Hub. So if you want to find out any information about becoming a premium member, head over to the website and you've got all the information there. But I think this is going to be our next closest battle. This is going to be a 2-stop strategy versus a 1-stop strategy. So what can Hammer Time do about this? Can he defend? We are on lap 26 of 29. And it's definitely been an entertaining race, Alan. I've enjoyed it. I don't know about you.
It's been a fantastic race. I mean, despite the fact that Beastaz has really pulled away from the field again, showing in F1 2017 that he is the man to beat. And if anyone doesn't have competition to him, then he's just going to keep winning these races and show him who is boss. But I mean, the gap is around 8 seconds. I mean, 7 seconds. I mean, so I mean, they are pulling him in, not by much and not enough to do it. As we do approach the final 4 laps today, and for the Bahrain Grand Prix for the 3rd round, if I am correct, the next round should be the Russian Grand Prix in Sochi?
Yes, that is correct. We head to Russia next week for the podium tier at 7 o'clock and the Pinnacle tier at 9 o'clock, and hopefully we can get some great racing like we've had tonight in both tiers. I've been really impressed with some of the overtaking and defending around this track. Techno Thriller from the podium tier took the win earlier, his 2nd in a row, and Bisas is looking very likely to make it his 3rd in a row, as the gap just roughly popped under 7 seconds. But I definitely think with a few laps to go, he's got this in the bag. And other than Matt, I don't really see too many positions changing. So we'll just keep an eye on the Force India and the Sauber, and hopefully we can have a few sparks before we end this race.
So we come to the final 3 laps today, and well, I mean, I think there's something wrong. It's either the tires are degrading or there's a problem with B-Saz. The gap is now down to 6.5 seconds. It was just 7 a couple minutes ago, or a lap ago, and now it's just really going down. I wouldn't say downhill for B-Saz, but again, slower than usual, and it looks like they are reeling it in. Probably not enough time, but that's, you know, that's how B-Saz sets up those races. He sets them up to be really fast in the middle and then slow at the end, where at the end it doesn't matter on his pace. He'll be able to pull away. Now the gap is around to 6 seconds. So again, I think he's going to have to put it in a lean. There's either something wrong with the fuel or the tires that are degrading so fast. He has to go into lean so the car goes slower and doesn't get as much wear. So now B-Saz in that situation to try and maintain that gap, even if it gets smaller. Most likely he'll win this race. We do come to 2 laps to go, however, so down the straight, B-Saz will lead with 2 to go, and now the pressure's on to Sean. If he can try and capitalize on this, it's a 6-second gap, and if he knows that B-Saz has a problem, and if he can push, he can try and reel in B-Saz, but most likely it won't be enough, as looks like James gets a position over the slow Force India, but looks to be Matt, and it says he's on the medium tires. I think he just either locked up or ran wide in the corner. I'm going to run on board with him. No punctures or anything, so maybe he just ran wide. Not sure if he has any front wing damage, but looks like he's doing just fine in the map.
Yeah, he lost traction on the exit of the corner, and it was one of those half spins where he's able to recover and keep a bit of speed up. Yeah, James and the Force India were closing in on the Sauber of Hammer Time. Now, unfortunately, that's really cost Matt, because he was just about to be in DRS, but now Hammer Time is under attack from James Slater, who, if you remember, Alan, made that late pit stop, so he's on a charge, and he wants that top 5 position. Meanwhile, as you said, B-Saz, the gap is just hovering just above 6 seconds. Perhaps Sean's on a bit of a move here, because he's gained a little bit on his teammate as well. I still think it's too little too late, unfortunately. But yeah, this is the closest battle, as the Sauber of Hammer Time has a bad exit, and surely James is going to be able to use his extra grip and his extra pace currently to get the job done. They've, if we have a quick look, they've both got a little bit of fuel left, so they'll be able to defend. What can Hammer Time do? He's got, as B-Saz starts the final lap, he's got a lap and a sector to try and hold on to this top 5 position. You riding on board with this, Alan? What do you make of it?
Oh, man, fantastic. I mean, looking back through the grid, again, we are on the final lap, however, and going through the grid, I mean, it's going to be very close within these last couple of laps. And again, I look back with James and looks to be Hammer Time. I mean, again, half of a second between the two. So right now they cross the line for the final lap. Going to be very close down the straight. If he can try and pull something off, maybe he does have DRS, so he's going to reel him in, but around the outside, both locking up. However, it looks like the Sauber ran a little bit wide, trying to capitalize, hitting the apex, both of them. You're going to have to come back, however, so headed up the hill, trying to go defensive is a Sauber of Hammer Time. Probably not going to be enough. So in this next corner, this is really where no passes happen, so he's going to hold his breath in this sector, try to hang on. But really, looks to be they're trying to get it, or it looks like James trying to get by Hammer Time, and it looks like Sean trying to reel in B-Saz. Gap between them is 5.7 seconds, but it looks like it will be B-Saz. He is the man to do it again. He is going for 3 in a row, and he'll probably do it today. Through the final corner out of 29 laps done, it'll be B-Saz who easily wins the Bahrain Grand Prix back to back to back. He makes it a hat-trick today as he wins the Bahrain Grand Prix in F1 TSUB Season 10. It is going to be Mercedes second, third. Hammer Time trying to hang on to the position against James. They're going to be wheel to wheel, but now single file back again. If he can hang on to the final time, looks like the Renault dives us down to the inside. Contact is made, jumps him a little wide. They'll be wheel to wheel for the final lap. They need to approach the final corner. Looks like the Renault's trying to clear him for the position. Now that is James against Hammer Time in the final corner. Final opportunity to do so. Trying to get the switch back. They could be wheel to wheel, but no. James is going to hang on. A last lap pass promotes him into the top 5. And there it is for James. No penalties there, and it looks like James will barely get a top 5 and a fantastic pass for position.
Yeah, that was great stuff. I was riding on board with them, and they were side by side. They both gave each other just enough room, and that extra grip on the super soft tire really helped James get that position, but credit to Hammer Time. That was some great wheel racing, and just riding on board with Jaw as himself and his teammate are going to cross the line. Go Tony, of course, have been lapped, so his race is over. Disappointing race for these Red Bull drivers, but they'll be able to pick themselves back up, and they'll be able to go again next week. What a race, Alan. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and these drivers put on a good show as Bisas takes his third win out of third, and we're going to join him on the podium in a second.
Yep. So that will be that. I mean, again, a fantastic race. Definitely looking forward to next week for the Russian Grand Prix, but here they are on the podium. You can see Paddy Lowe off to the left-hand side, and your winner today for Williams. A fantastic result for these drivers. Again, something to look forward to for next week. Bisas back-to-back, and he performs a hat-trick today. As you can definitely see in the background, Paddy Lowe definitely happy with that. The two Mercedes drivers as well. You can see Claire Williams in the background, director of the team, very satisfied with the result today. Even though Mercedes finished second and third, their only threat and constructors. Williams again wins another race. They get 3 out of 3 poles and get 3 out of 3 victories. Williams is a team to beat so far this season. So Bisas is second, is in the lead. Second is Sean. Third is MLA. Fourth is TS Williams. Fifth is James. Sixth is Hammer Time. Seventh is Matt. Eighth is Dan. Ninth is Craig. 10th is Sam. 11th is Compact. 12th is Max Verstappen. 13th is the next. 14th is Carlos Sainz. 15th is Vettel. 16th is Clifford's Red. 17th is going to be I think it's Chris, if I'm correct, not Kimi Räikkönen. I'm trying to remember the drivers' names, but it says the actual drivers' names. So that will do it for the third round of the season. Headed to the fourth round next week for the Russian Grand Prix in Sochi. Do you have any last-minute thoughts, Nick?
No, other than that was a great race, and I hope we can have more of that next week. Interestingly, Sean's beaten MLA, his teammate, for the first time this season, so that'll be an interesting one. They're definitely going to be challenging for the constructors, and hopefully we can get Flair back next week, and we can possibly see a bit of Williams rivalry in Russia. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, and don't forget to check us out on Twitter at F1TS Hub. Subscribe to us on our channel at F1TS Hub as well. Over on the website you can find out how to join our waiting list. You can view our merchandise, and yeah, Alan, thanks for joining us, and I look forward to seeing everyone for the podium tier next week at 7 PM and the Pinnacle tier, the one we've just done, 9 PM. Thanks very much, guys.